Welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. I am Cyrus Dabar, and before we get into the action-packed show, here's a quick look at what we have for you today. We drive the Ford Freestyle with a diesel engine and the new EcoSport variant, the S, with the EcoBoost petrol engine. It's a new Royal Enfield limited edition called the Pegasus, and Honda CBR650F gets an update. So let's start with those two Fords. Well, the Freestyle, I've driven with the petrol engine earlier, and we've got you that on the show, but now we drive the diesel. The more exciting one of the two though is the EcoSport, which now gets the new EcoBoost 1-litre engine back in its fray, and with a new variant. It's called the EcoSport S, and Kinshuk's been driving it, so have a look. A few months ago, we brought you a detailed review of the Ford Freestyle, and then just a couple of weeks ago, we put it up against its biggest rival, the Maruti Suzuki Ignis. With the new petrol engine, the Freestyle was a ton of fun, especially on the dry lake bed we first drove it on, but now it's time to drive the diesel. The look and design between the petrol and diesel are pretty much the same. We like the chocolate brown color on our test car that Ford calls Canyon Ridge. The interior is done in a tan brown color similar to the Freestyle petrol, and while it might not look sporty, it does give the occupants a sense of premiumness. Also, the touchscreen interface on the 6.5-inch Sync 3 infotainment system is very smooth and is the best infotainment system on any car within 10 lakh rupees. Ford has always maintained that the Freestyle is a CUV or compact utility vehicle, and this means that it gets a raised ride height, translating into ground clearance of 190 mm, which is good enough to tackle your regular potholes or bumps. Oh, and Ford claims that the Freestyle will go 24.4 kilometers on a litre of diesel.
Cyrus already drove the Freestyle petrol, and in fact he already compared the car to the Ignis. And right now I'm sitting behind the Freestyle with the 1.5-litre diesel engine. It makes around 100 brake horsepower and generates 215 Newton meters of peak torque. And the engine is mated to a very slick 5-speed gearbox. Being a diesel engine, the car generates a solid pull. There's this nice, delicious spread of torque right from 2000 RPM and all the way till you reach the 100 km/h mark. The car responds very well to your throttle and gear inputs. The only grouse that we have, and it's just nitpicking, is that the diesel engine clatter seeps through to the cabin and it kind of mars your driving experience. But again, that's no deal breaker. The car is really fun to drive.
You can do with minimum gear shifts while driving in a city. The clutch doesn't feel too heavy either. On the highway, the engine allows you to cruise at triple-digit speeds comfortably, and there is no sense of strain either. It is a fun car to drive, the Freestyle. We always liked how the Figo handled, and the Freestyle is no different. The car doesn't lose its rhythm when thrown into a corner, with the accelerator mashed a little bit more than necessary. It will hold the line and keep going. The feedback from the brakes is good, and they do a good job of scrubbing off the speed too. The suspension is tuned for comfort, and this does result in a bit of body roll, but on broken roads, the occupants of the car will not be cursing the bone-jarring ride. Ford hasn't skimped on safety either. Dual airbags and ABS are standard across all variants, but the top spec car gets 6 airbags along with electronic stability control, active rollover protection and switchable traction control as well, which is a segment first. The prices for the Freestyle diesel start at 6,09,000 rupees for the base variant and goes up to 7,89,000 rupees for the top of the line Titanium Plus. It can tackle a little more than bad roads, has good ground clearance, is loaded with features and has more muscle than your average hatch. Given the pricing of the car, it does make a value for money purchase. But that's not the only Ford we have for you today on the show. The updated EcoSport was launched last year and we like it a lot. And now Ford has decided to up the ante and launched a new, more premium and sportier variant, the EcoSport S. So what does it offer? Well, let's find out.
The Ford EcoSport S, especially in this canyon ridge color, has solid road presence. Additionally, the blacked out bits such as the headlamp up front, the new grille, give the car a really upmarket premium feel, which is so much more better than the standard EcoSport. And also, did we tell you about the newly designed smoked alloy wheels? They look really cool as well.
Things have been spiced up inside the car as well. Keeping up with the orange theme that so many Indian automakers seem to be following, the interior gets a dash of orange on the seats and the dashboard. And the EcoSport now gets a sunroof, which is a first-in-class feature. The EcoSport S gets all the features available on the top-spec Titanium Plus variant of the regular model. This means that the car gets 6 airbags, anti-lock brakes, electronic brake force distribution, along with Ford's Sync 3 infotainment system, which is the best in the segment. You also get reverse parking camera and parking sensors. The biggest change though comes in the form of Ford's champion 1-litre EcoBoost engine. Yes, after a short hiatus, Ford India has brought back the 1-litre EcoBoost to the fold. The EcoBoost petrol is a 3-cylinder engine which makes 123 bhp and 170 Nm of torque. The engine is paired to a brand new 6-speed gearbox, and Ford claims a mileage of 18.1 km to a litre. The EcoBoost engine always had a peppy character, and the one in the EcoSport S too loves to be revved. The engine comes into its being after the needle crosses 3000 rpm, and the brand new 6-speed gearbox then works its magic and propels the car forward with urgency. You need to work the gearbox a teeny bit in order to extract the best performance from the car, but it is a fun exercise, and that is only because the gearbox is slick and slotting in is precise. The EcoSport S feels sure-footed when you chuck it into a corner. On bumpy roads, the ride might be a little stiff for the occupants, but it is definitely not a deal breaker. As always, the EcoSport responds well to steering inputs with a decent enough feedback. The EcoSport S petrol is priced at 11,37,000 rupees, and the EcoSport S diesel is priced at 11,89,000 rupees. The EcoSport S sits at the very top of the model lineup and is loaded to the brim with features. The SUV looks even more butch now with all those black accents on the exterior, and the new 1-litre EcoBoost engine has kind of spiced things up. Is it worth the price? We absolutely think so. The EcoSport has always been a car we have liked, and the EcoSport S only makes it better.
Welcome back to CNB Bazaar Buzz on the NDTV network. Now, those two lovely Fords before the break. Now we move on to two wheels. First up, Preetham's review of the new updated Honda CBR650F. Have a look.
It's the most affordable full-fed sport bike with an inline 4-cylinder engine available in India right now. And it's the Honda CBR650F. This Honda promises to be the perfect middleweight sport bike for riders looking to upgrade from smaller 300 to 400cc street motorcycles, and it promises to be a do-it-all sort of motorcycle. In terms of aesthetics, the 2018 model of the CBR650F does not look radically different from the outgoing model, with the same overall silhouette and the same dual digital instrument panel. What is missed is a gear position indicator, but there are minor changes overall, even to the fairing and graphics. The front suspension is all new and gets the Showa dual bending valve fork. The engine gets bronze-colored covers on the crankcases, but there are some other subtle changes.
Well, for 2018 it gets a lot of updates, new graphics, 2 new colors, LED tail light, an all new LED headlight as well. new bronze covers on the engine, although the engine remains the same. It's the 649cc inline 4-cylinder engine, makes about 86 odd bhp and about 60 odd Newton meters of torque. But the intake and the exhaust have been changed, so it feels a little different, and the sound, it's a little bit more meatier than the outgoing model.
On the move, the Honda CBR650F has a gentle power delivery. There's no immediate surge of torque, no breathtaking acceleration, and in the city it behaves like a gentleman. All good qualities, you could say, because it's not intimidating at all. But make no mistake, there's more than enough performance to get it moving very fast and into illegal and unsafe speed territory within no time. You can feel some minor buzz at city speeds, particularly on the seats and foot pegs, but the engine pulls cleanly in 6th gear from as low as 40 km per hour. And then you hit the power band, the vibrations magically seem to disappear.
Well, the power takes a bit of time to kick in. It comes in at high rev, so you really have to rev the nuts of the engine. But overall, it's a smooth engine, great straight line stability, neutral handling, so no complaints there. What I like most about the CBR650 is it's an absolutely brilliant touring machine, and the engine, although it may not feel as quick as say a Suzuki GSX S150 or a Z900, it can really do 220 and more if you want to test its performance on a racetrack. Overall, spot on, gentle bike, I quite like it.
Also quite likable is the bike's handling. Around the corner, the CBR650F remains planted and feels stable and always in control. It may not excite the experienced rider, but the bike's neutral handling always gives you a sense of being in control, even when you try to push it to its limit. Brakes are superb and confidence-inspiring as well, and for the most part, the Honda CBR650F is quite a likable motorcycle. Well behaved and gentle, but with the performance on tap when needed. On our test runs, the CBR650F returned close to 18 km on a litre of petrol, and with gentle cruising on the highway, the fuel consumption figures were even better.
For someone looking to buy their first sport bike, the CBR650F is certainly a very good option. It's street friendly, has comfortable ergonomics, and is absolutely brilliant on the highway. In fact, I definitely recommend this for long tours on the highway. Well, for a few thousand more rupees, you get two wildly entertaining performance nakeds in the Suzuki GSX S750 and the Kawasaki Z900. But what the CBR650's trump card is reliability and, more importantly, low maintenance cost.
For 7,30,000 rupees, ex-showroom Delhi, the Honda CBR650F certainly makes quite a case for itself as a very good beginner sport bike. It's got fantastic in-city manners, superb handling, and the performance to make it a fast machine. In fact, in all, it does most things expected from it without any complaints. But where it truly shines is out on the highway, and combined with low running costs, the CBR650F, in our opinion, makes a near perfect beginner sport bike.